All right, y'all, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business today. Gonna check out its local search and its city search, see if either of them got BSS. So we're back here in the GBC universe, where we're taking declining boudoir photographers, turn them into the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pin post, home post on the video, whatever. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So if boudoir photography business is rising, they're probably most likely bringing in piece from the entire intent spectrum, way over on the left, highest intent, way over on the right, lowest intent. But if a boudoir photography business is falling, they're missing at least one or one cohort, or at least probably two cohorts as well from this intent spectrum. Now, way over on the left, we got BSS boudoir search sameness, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. But way on the left, that's what we're talking about here. These videos, talking about the highest intent people searching for boudoir photo shoots right now in our, right in our city, searching on social media, searching on Google. And way over on the left, the lowest intent people, that's our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. We're talking about BLCS, kind of a unique niched problem. And we actually, with that brand, we currently only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. So now onward. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So 0 slots on page 1 of Google, that means we're on page, page 2 or deeper. That's gonna be a fast death for our business, because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even make it to page 2. They're page 1 only searches. And so if we're stuck on page 0, that's a fast track to death. And if we got 1 slot on page 1, that's not good enough either, because then we're looking the same as all the other boudoir photographers. Probably going to be none other boudoir photographers. So buyers are just going to click and open up everybody's link, get a quote from everyone, price shop everyone. Whereas 80% of those buyers, the bulk that we care about, would never even go to page 2. So even on page 1, we're still getting super, super, super price shopped. Now, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 in Google is not normal. It's an extremely small number. It's normal is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So 0 or 1 slot on page 1 of Google, extremely, extremely, extremely common though. People are accepting of it being common because people do not know about the false belief of page 1 equality. Now, the market saturation, basically everyone knows about that. Someone's getting a new iPhone, they're thrown up on Google My Business profile on Google Maps. They got their website up, trying to rank page 1 for boudoir photographer. And so more supply. Same with someone's getting a new camera, and then they're talking, they're posting in the mom Facebook groups saying that, saying they offer boudoir shoots now as well. Again, another increase in supply. And COVID was a big, massive supply shock of boudoir photographers because a lot of people lost their jobs. People still need to earn money though. Everyone's got a phone with basically everyone's got a phone with a superpowered camera. So offering boudoir photo shoots even for new peeps was, kind of an easy in. And as a result, super increased the supply of boudoir photographers. And if there's the same number of buyers remained, then, then it's going to be harder and harder for sellers to make the same amount of money. Now, false belief of page 1 equality, this, from what I've seen, is the #1 killer boudoir photography businesses. What this is boudoir photographers saying, all right, I got 1 slot on page 1 here on my website, and some other boudoir photographers came in, entered the marketplace, got their website ranked higher than mine, so pushing me down to page 2, but that's simply how it is. Hopefully one of them deletes their websites and maybe Google will put me back on page 1, because right now I'm invisible on page 2. Approximately 80% of searchers never even get to me, and just kind of letting those things happen. That's a false belief. Google actually will give us as many slots on page 1 as we want, as we put in the effort to acquire, and Google wants to give us those slots. I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google in only 10 days with this new methodology I developed. Now, final piece here on the left side, a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer, DBP. So left side of our universe, disappearing boudoir photographer. Well, that's because, if we got BSS, we're either 0 or 1 slot on page 1. So basically, we're either on page 2 of Google, which means we're definitely disappearing. Approximately 80% of searches never even get to page 2. And if we're on page 1, then we only got 1 slot, we're looking the same as everyone else. We're being price shopped to death, and we're actually disappearing as well. And so a disappearing boudoir photographer, dude, having BSS, this is the canary in the coal mine, kind of warning flag, the warning light, check engine light going on, saying, hey, we are on a path now to actually lose for the boudoir photography business itself to disappear. But luckily, we now have a solution. That solution, we know that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S-cubed methodology. And when we treat, so we invented this, so that's how I know it works. It's exactly what the name is, social search saturation. We're saturating social search. And for the highest intent keywords. And basically, it's kind of like the backside of the Andes Mountains. When we saturate social search, where there's like the small streams, the small rivers on the backside of the Andes Mountains in South America, they actually flow into the Amazon River. And with the Amazon River, what actually happens is they all converge to the Amazon River. That's like conversion on page 1 of Google. Now, this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that actually allows them to overcome market saturation extremely quickly. The only one other option would be, actually having a well-known brand. That takes, 5 to 10 years. We ain't got 5 to 10 years. AI is here, coming to take people's jobs, and we got to max rank as fast as possible, as there's a whole bunch of boudoir photographers going to be entering the market. So SQ methodology, yeah, it is the only thing I've seen for boudoir photographers that successfully enables them to fight back and overcome market saturation. I mean, imagine if there's a million boudoir photographers in San Francisco, and we're one of them. Everyone's got a website competing to be page 1 on Google. And what actually happens is we max out our SQ methodology, literally basically do it as max as possible. And as a result, we're getting like the first 300 slots on social search, first 300 slots on Google search. And when we do that, whenever any buyer searches for Google or, on Google or social search, high intent keywords for boudoir photo shoot in their city, we're basically the only one they find for the first 300 slots. And, we essentially pushed all the competition down to slots 301 or later. So on Google, it's 10 organic slots per page. And 10 organic slots per page is, that's 30 pages we're taking up. Buyers essentially got to go to page 31 to even find out that we are, to find out our competitors. So obviously, whose business is growing in this scenario? Ours, because we saturated basically kind of everywhere they can look. So again, this SQ methodology is the only solution I've seen that allows boudoir photographers to successfully escape markets or successfully grow in spite of market saturation, kind of no matter how many boudoir photographers are out there. That happens relatively quickly. Brand, dude, takes like 5 to 10 years. So we ain't got no time to build brand right now. Now, once you're with SQ methodology, we have page 1 visibility. And kind of an initial bonus benefit we get from this is every new slot we take on page 1 of Google, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1, effectively making them invisible. So when we do that, when we make them invisible, we know that literally 80% of boudoir photographers or searchers do literally never go to page 2. So if we kick them onto page 2, off page 1, on page 2, deeper, they're effectively invisible to approximately 80% of the market. So that's an extra immediate benefit. Now, page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So when we get that, we have the GBC recommended minimum of getting 3 out of 10 slots on Google search page 1. Because at 3 out of 10 slots, a lot of boudoir photographers, most of them will be at 1 out of 10. So when the buyer's scrolling down Google and they're seeing us with a massive number of boudoir photo shoots, or basically kind of with our option, then what actually happens is we're going to be seen as like super awesome solution. People are going to be wondering, why Google is recommending us 3 different times and everyone else only once. So that's why we want to hit the GBC recommended minimum is 3. And as we actually increase, some boudoir photographers rarely will actually have two slots on page 1. So we actually want to hit those. And, when we hit those, we want to, or when they hit those, our 3 out of 10 slots will actually still overpower them. So it's essentially taking care of all scenarios. And a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, VBP. So it's our micro universe here. Got a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. We finally have a solution, thankfully. S-cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. This is our micro universe here. Now here are my results from using S-cubed methodology when I wanted to rank for the keyword BLCS boudoir. So basically I wanted to rank for this keyword. So I already know, use S-cubed methodology. So we got me, organic slot Instagram here. Organic slot page 1. Organic slot page 2. Organic slot page 3. Slot 4. I mean, not page 1, page 2. Slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4. Then we got slot 5, slot 6, slot 7, slot 8, and slot 10. So we literally got slot 10, or we got 9 out of 10 slots, and we achieved this with only 10 days utilizing our S-cubed methodology. So these are my results I've gotten for it. Now, onto the main event here. We got our boudoir photography business. Going to check on them and, their local search, their city search, page 1 on Google. Well, we want to see. And actually, I gotta bring these over. So we're going to Carefree, AZ. Yeah, I do remember looking at that. Northeast Phoenix and then Phoenix, Arizona. All right, let's go over here. Boom. All right. Let's see what we got. Boom, we got one. Oh, Scottsdale. Okay, I think that's part of Phoenix. So, boom, got one. Boom, we got two. Perfect. I don't believe that's her. Okay, boom, we got 3. Boom, we got 4. Boom, we got 5. Boom, we got 6. Awesome, dudes. 6 out of 10. So we overcome. We do not have BSS, and we have achieved the GBC recommended minimum 3 out of 10. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to see boudoir photography businesses doing for the best chance for themselves. And now, we gotta go to Phoenix actually. Phoenix. All right, so city's always harder to rank for because there's more peeps competing, more keyword momentum. All right, we got one. All right, so we do got BSS for. All right, so we got we do not have BSS, and we did hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 for the local search, and we do not. We got BSS of for the city search, which city is always harder. Right? There's way more overlapping people trying to rank there. And we did not hit the recommended GBC minimum of 3 on the city search, which is actually normal. I don't know if, unless it's a small city or kind of a small town, I don't know if I've seen anyone hit that yet, or maybe like 1 or 2. Very difficult to tell. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've already went and done local search or city search for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your city, and you got either 0, 1 slots page 1 on Google, or you've now met the minimum GBC recommended minimum 3 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google. And you understand the false belief of page 1 equality now is exactly that, a false belief. It's made up, it's not true. No need to auto-believe it. You're seeing that Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to take, as we want to put in the effort to take. And you're seeing, okay, S-cubed methodology is the only solution forward, and it is the best solution for me. You've been waiting for something like this, because with Google PPC ads, at most you're getting one extra position, even if they got 4 or 5 slots available. And the momentum for those dies once you stop paying for the ads. But with S-cubed methodology, there is momentum with it. Not permanent, but there is way more momentum with it. With not infinite momentum, but there's way more momentum than momentum going to 0 when you stop spending on ads. You can take way more slots page 1 on Google. So they get all these initial benefits. New basically new more page 1 slots. Kicking, you actually really like kicking competing with boudoir photographers off page 1, relegating them to the dustbin of page 2 or deeper, making them disappear with boudoir photographers and eventually their entire business disappear. And you understand the market saturation stuff. Over time, people get new gear, become boudoir photographers. And but you're looking ahead and you're seeing, man, AI is taking people's jobs right now. And it's only going to take more and more people's jobs into the future. And as a result, you are you're seeing, wow, way more boudoir photographers going to be entering the market in the future than any time in the past. There's way more people going to be losing their jobs compared to COVID. And you're basically like, you realize you got to like fortify your position on page one. You got to have like backup links to your current page one links that are dominating as many slots as possible on page one, then backup links to those backup links. So you're like backed up all the way to page 2, 3, and 4 with all your links. Basically guarantee no current boudoir photographers can ever rank page one, nor any future boudoir photographers of peeps who lost their jobs due to AI can rank on page one. And you're realizing, you got to fortify, kind of like fortifying the levees in Nolens, Louisiana, because that city is underneath, below sea level. So you got to fortify it from the ocean. So you're realizing you got to fortify it, and you're seeing, okay, the only solution that can do that as well is still SQ'd methodology. And you want to achieve page one visibility to become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. And you want all these things because you are, you need them on your way to becoming the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you're also understanding the real back-end stuff, and you're liking the future benefits of utilizing SQ methodology now, which we have not talked about yet. But basically, every single day we execute SQ methodology, we're building up these invisible thematic keyword columns around our business, kind of like plugged into our business, like the columns of the Parthenon in Athens, Greece, or the columns, or like hub and spoke of the center of a bicycle tire. And with all these invisible thematic keyword columns, that actually builds up AI mindshare in the back end. So every single day we successfully execute SQ methodology, we increase the probability of being shown here, AI overview. Premium, dude, super premium placement. Cannot buy this placement with ads, and it is 100% organic. Would be the only one served there. Basically the only one found there. And we'd be having those slots for ourselves. So once you're seeing that, you are saying, oh yeah, you want that feature benefit as well, and you actually want the other feature benefit, which is we're increasing the probability AI search actually recommends us with the standard AI search apps like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. And you know that everyday successfully executing these things, higher chance to get shown up in AI search, which you want because way, way, way more peeps utilizing AI search every single day. I know last time I searched for a boudoir photographer in a city, I looked for a few. And I did with ChatGPT, and dude, it recommended me 3 in the ChatGPT search. And when I went to search on Google or Facebook, like manually, dude, there's like 60. I was like, dude, we got to find a way to get in this AI search, and SQ methodology can provide that. Also, like the benefit of estimated benefit of creating a known brand approximately 8x faster than any other strategy, because we're on so many more surfaces with such a higher frequency than everyone else. And you also like in that you can get all these benefits, and you understand that my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. So you decide to become a first mover in your city to kind of lock yourself into use it, prevent all your other boudoir photographer competitors in your city from using it, and kind of build up, get all these benefits, get all the links on page one, kick out your competitors page one, get the back-end AI mindshare going, build up such a massive gap between you and all your current competitors and any future competitors coming from losing their job due to AI that will be entering the market as boudoir photographers, that you can, basically the gap will be so large, essentially nobody can ever catch you. And conversely, on the flip side, you understand that if one of your boudoir photographer competitors signs on with me first, then they're getting all those benefits. You're getting kicked off page one. You may get kicked off page two. Maybe we can kick you off page 3 or 4. And your competitors taking all those links, all those slots. You are actually, and your competitor, me and your competitor are building that AI mindshare on the back end. They're building their brand approximately 8x faster than any other strategy out there. Higher chance they're getting shown AI overview, higher chance they're getting shown AI search, being way, way, way more known and freezing you out. And for you to compete, you'd have to actually rederive successfully SQ methodology. And I mean, you've never derived it in the first place, so how could you ever be 100% confident you've derived it correctly? And then you'd have to equal our execution every single day. But if you did that, you'd simply maintain the gap, meaning your competitor would have already gained on you. And you'd actually have to, 2 to 3x our output every single day in order to close that gap. But you're not even 100% confident you've derived the strategy correctly, so you don't even want to do the 2 to 3x effort every single day, because you don't even know if you're putting the effort in the right way. And also, who's got the 8 hours to do that much work every single day? So after hearing all that, you decide to be the first mover advantage, first mover. Just don't want to miss out on this opportunity. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. My DMs are currently closed. The hospital is currently closed to new patients, but when the hospital does open to new patients, shoot us a DM, and we will see if you qualify for utilizing our S-cubed methodology.